Dad!
Every Simpsons universe explained, the hidden multiverse you never noticed. Think for a moment. What if the cozy yellow world of The Simpsons isn't one single unified story, but many stories? Thousands of parallel Springfields, overlapping, diverging, resetting. Imagine you've watched 700+ episodes, and every time you flip on the TV, you step into a slightly different universe. Crazy? Maybe, but stick with me. By the end, you'll never watch Bart and Lisa the same way. Let's rewind. Springfield. Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, Maggie. They live, they grow up, they don't age. The power plant, the elementary school, a town that seems familiar and yet slippery. Because if you rewind through seasons, something odd emerges. Backstories change. Town geography shifts. Characters behave as if they've had whole alternate lives. For example, one moment, Marge and Homer are young Gen Xers. In another, Homer claims he's a baby boomer. One season, Waylon Smithers is one ethnicity. In another, subtly different. The show itself kind of winks at its own instability. This isn't new. Fan theorists have long argued that each season might be a different level of Springfield. There's an article that argues that every single episode might take place in a slightly different world, like flicking through channels of alternate realities. So, yes, on the surface, it's a brilliant, funny, endlessly satirical cartoon. But under the surface, something weird is happening. Clues and oddities. Let's dig into the clues. 1. Backstory contradictions. In one episode, Homer proudly recalls growing up in the 1950s suburbs. In another, he tells a story set in a totally different backdrop. Marge's maiden name, Bart's future jobs, Grandpa's military history, then all shifting. If this were one universe with one timeline, it would be a mess. But if each tale is a neighboring universe, makes more sense. 2. No aging, no long-term change. Bart stays 10, Lisa stays 8-ish. Meanwhile, the world around them sometimes warps. Apu's kids age, the town layout warps, but the core family remains locked in amber. If you're stuck in one universe, that's strange. But if you move between universes, every new season could reset the age anchor, keeping the characters static while the world shifts around them. 3. Geography and reality bending. Springfield's size changes, its location shifts, and weird properties appear. Mountains, districts, impossible landscapes. One episode has Springfield next to Texas. Another places it somewhere else entirely. These are like location variants of familiar terrain. Also, the show embraced alternate reality segments early. That classic Homer cubed segment, where Homer enters a 3D dimension, that was practically a multiverse teaser. 4. The reset feeling. Each episode wraps with a moral, a resolution, and next time it's gone. Homer doesn't really learn, Marge doesn't really change, and band and art don't stay reformed. If you assume one universe, it feels cheap. But if you assume a new universe each time, the reset is just you flipping to the next reality with a fresh Homer, fresh Bart, fresh rule set. The core theory revealed. Here it is. What if each season, or even each episode of The Simpsons takes place in a different universe in a vast multiverse of Springfields? In one reality, Homer is a safety inspector at the plant. In another, he becomes president of something. In each new universe, the rules shift, the continuity rewrites, but the face of the family stays the same. So when you watch Season 1, you visit Universe A. Season 2, you switch to Universe B. Season 10, Universe J. They overlap, they reference each other, they sometimes crosswalk, flash forwards, what if, Halloween specials. But fundamentally, each is its own world. And then, the final twist. What if those universes aren't isolated? What if they're interconnected? The weird crossovers, guest stars, meta episodes, aren't just cameos, they are portals. The show hints at a larger omni-Springfield, where the casual viewer glimpses alternate versions of Homer and Marge. This ties into broader inherited multiverse ideas, Marvel, other cartoons. Except here, it's disguised as a sitcom. Now, the emotional flip. If this is true, what does that mean for us as the audience? First, nostalgia takes on new meaning. You're not just watching your childhood Homer. You're watching your version of Homer, a version in a particular universe. That makes every laugh, every doe, every Bart prank feel simultaneously familiar and unique. Second, it makes sense of the weirdness. The inconsistencies you noticed, we all spotted them, even subconsciously, now become features, not bugs. The show never promised you one fixed world. It gave you many worlds, sliding underneath the same brightly colored veneer. Third, connection. You might realize your favorite season is in a universe where Homer did learn something, or you prefer the one where Marge runs a successful business. You're no longer just a fan of The Simpsons. You're a traveler hopping between Springfields, collecting moments. Fourth, meta-awareness. Suddenly the show becomes not just a commentary on American life and family, which it always was, but also a commentary on storytelling itself. What is continuity? What is character growth? What is canon in a world built on jokes and satire? It asks, maybe these characters can't age because you aren't supposed to age with them. You revisit them across universes. Here's your final twist. If you accept that each episode/season is an alternate reality, then maybe we, the viewers, are moving between them as well. When you watch a later episode and you feel the tone shift, or you see a different Marge, you're not just seeing incongruence. You're entering a different Springfield altogether. And perhaps the real Springfield is every Springfield. The true universe is the one where Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie exist as an idea, not a fixed timeline. They're archetypes navigating infinite variants of small-town America. So next time you watch, notice that tiny change in Bart's future job, that shift in geography, that moment where the show breaks the fourth wall. Because maybe you've just glimpsed the border between Universe X and Universe Y of the Simpsons multiverse. Thanks for going on this ride. If you enjoyed this theory, drop a comment below. Which version of the Simpson family resonated with you most? And if you share this video/essay, maybe the next viewer will wander into your favorite Springfield. Until then, doe.